Hello everyone, this is Jim, just talking to you before the podcast to give a little spoiler warning. There's pretty much spoilers for all the parts of Jojo up to part 5, so you're good as long as you read that. Enjoy the show. Welcome to Jokakaka. I'm Jim.
I'm Sam.
And today we're going to be talking about the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4 Diamond is Unbreakable movie.
Part 1.
Part 1.
You guys, it's like every manga into a movie has to be like 3 parts.
Yeah.
And you can definitely tell what they're trying to do.
It's just, like, I think we'll probably talk about this later, but I just want to say from the get-go, like, adapting manga into movies is, like, such a bad idea.
Yeah.
The entire appeal of a manga is, like, you can have, like, a very long story with, like, drawn-out characters, and, like, you can have, like, a lot of characters.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work in a movie.
There's certain things where it could work if done right. Like, I think I haven't seen Gintama one. I think that one could work because it's just a bunch. It's a gag one. It's like a kind of like a comedy one where you can have a different story with these characters and it could work. Or like, I know we saw it, we did not like it, but Ghost in the Shell could have worked because you could tell a different story with the characters instead of just trying to retell what we've already seen.
Ghost in the Shell was also like, so yeah, like Ghost in the Shell was a manga.
Yeah.
But when they adapted it into a movie, they really gave it its own identity. Like it had really stripped down characters. Like there's a lot of tertiary characters in Ghost in the Shell that barely even have a line that are actually pretty important unlike other series. But it works because it's all about like there is one theme that the movie works on. It's like the theme of humanity and like specifically examining the major.
Yeah, it's like in a future cop drama. Like with everything around that as well. And there's like, different series that had tackled different things like
and like it nails like the cyberpunk aesthetic and I mean, like, Ghost in the Shell movies are really bad comparison to this.
I know, but I'm saying there's other like other animated Ghost in the Shell are different stories, which I think if stuff focused on that more so than trying to retell, like that's why everyone's worried like if it actually somehow gets off like the Akira live action, which won't be good. But what's it called? But the weird thing about
sorry, I have to cut you off, but Akira is another good example of it was made by the same guy. So the guy that made the manga directed the movie. And it's another like really long form thing where when they adapted it to a movie, they were like, okay, we're going to focus on these few elements. We're going to do as much of the story as possible. But they cut out key things like, spoiler alert for the Akira manga, Akira becomes a character later. Because if you've seen the movie, Akira is actually just dead. Like he's long dead. His body parts were experimented on and they're like kind of preserved. But yeah, there's so much. There's characters that you see for like a second in Akira that like actually have like whole arcs and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen the manga and it's fucking huge.
I read the first volume and I really liked it. I would always like to finish that because I've heard it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm just called. But the weird thing about this is just like they chose to do part 4 first.
Yeah,
and you have. Because you had Jojo's like in there, and like I was like, it's kind of weird that like the whole part 3 adventure. You get the kind of thing like this whole part 3 adventure happened, like, and
they allude to it.
Yeah,
like they definitely mention certain things.
Yeah,
and it just to me, if you were going to, so let's say you have your heart set on part 4, like you love the setting, you love the story.
A lot of people do.
Let's completely like let's rework the story so that it works. Like, get rid of Jotaro. Jotaro has no place. Get rid of any reference to Joseph. You have to, like, give us another reason for Stans to exist. You can't just, like, hint upon this, like, super long bloodline.
Because there is a giant plot dump of, like, just Jotaro explaining the Josuke.
And it sucks, and it's really boring. Just to, like, talk about the movie that we watched, I just hated how boring it was.
Yeah.
It was so slow, and, like...
especially... I it didn't really bother me until the house, like the Nijimura brothers, and they do that part. Like that part was just really drawn out. Yeah,
there were some hints beforehand where you would see like very, really just drawn out scenes where characters are just talking and they're focusing on it feels like they're focusing on the wrong characters. And then at the end, that last fighting, I wouldn't even call it an action sequence because There was hardly any action in it.
It wasn't really a fight, like an action, like fight scene inside the manga. It was more so just like just getting shot and getting like the one hit into like win. That's basically Jojo in a nutshell.
Yeah. Except it just sucks because
way more drawn out than like either manga, because you can read manga quick, so you can't really draw it out, and like the anime didn't really draw it out because they have to like get it in the time frame. They do a great job of doing the stand fights inside the anime.
Yeah,
but
so
yeah, this movie covered. It came out like last year.
I think? Yes, it was 2017.
Yeah, and it came out of nowhere for like, wait, what? And like
it was very quick.
Yes, and like it filmed in Spain too, which is, you can clearly notice like
it is really bizarre because
no pun intended.
Specifically, oh fuck, I can't believe I do that so often.
It is.
It is just crazy how often you see shots like that are supposed to be Morio, and if you've read the manga, if you've seen the anime, like Morio has like a very specific look to it. It's like a very small, just generic Japanese town,
like on a coast.
Yeah, but this Morio, I can't even say it, is like a downtown. It looks like it's part of like an old city in like, I would probably guess like Seville or like a similar like landlocked city in Spain, and it just doesn't. There's like a weird cognitive dissonance where it's like it doesn't feel like all these Japanese characters would be in this. But okay, like so whatever. Let's say I'll just take that for granted. Later, there's a part where we see Josuke's house, and it is like in the suburbs of what looks nothing like any scenes before that. It was just,
it's weird.
It was hard for me to like focus on this movie.
The school's like a castle. There's a part where they cut to the shops in town, and just like banners over like what the store probably normally would be, and like they're out front of the store with like a little like table. I'm like, wow, they were really like.
Yeah, it was funny because like you have these like really rustic looking cities, and they just smack this M sticker there, and it's just
they do slap that M sticker a lot, like,
and it looks so tagged on, and like it's just funny because it doesn't even match like the color of like the backgrounds, and
no,
it looks like a shitty like flyer was put up,
pretty much. But like we're gonna be shitting on this a lot, but like was there anything in particular that you did like? Because I know you did not like most of this movie.
I really disliked a lot of this. I think I gave it like a 1 or 2. It definitely is like a strong 1. I thought it was strong 1 to a light 2.
I gave it a 4 because I finished it on like the Full Metal Alchemist movie.
I don't know. For me, like I try not to rate things unless I finish them. So I don't even know what I was going to. That was just a shitty.
I thought the best part about this was the costumes. I thought were like. Decent,
they weren't
pretty
bad.
Good, decent. Didn't look like
the hair and makeup. I guess you could say was pretty good too.
It didn't look like bad cosplay like the FMA one did.
Yeah,
and they got like the hair great. Like the pompadour looked good. I thought Jojo with the hair thing was good. Other than like the hat itself that changed up.
Okay, yeah, this is another one of the things that like I just couldn't focus because I normally don't really care about continuity errors when I'm watching a movie, but Jotaro, instead of having like he had like the logo on his hat, whatever, like the fist or the open palm rather, it just has an off-center Joe. It just like J-O, and it would flip. I swear to God, every shot the Joe would flip right to left, and I'm wondering.
It did. Like I know Jim pointed out, I couldn't like unsee it
to the point where it had to have been a choice. It had to have been an intentional choice for them.
2 hats, and like just like he kept grabbing the wrong one every time. Like the new scene would be filmed.
Oh, it was just so bizarre. And I kept checking too. I was like, no, they didn't just mirror it, because if they mirrored the shot, then the Joe would be reversed. But no, it was the same. It was just baffling to me.
It was so interesting, but yeah.
And normally I try not to let little things like that, but it was so distracting because every time I saw it, I was like, "Oh, they changed it again."
And like I thought, like Angelo looked weird. Like his face looked really weird, though.
He did look like a freak.
Like I guess he was a serial killer, but still, like he was just like he didn't look like he was like kind of a creeper, but still he didn't look like having the weird flesh like. I can't really explain like what his skin had a really weird look to it. I'm like, what did they kind of go for here?
Yeah, he was strange, and the movie seems to really focus on him, like for the first half at least. Like, there's like long scenes that set up his like sociopathy, and like that one scene where he like I don't know if he killed the family or if he was torturing them, but then he just sat down and started eating their dinner.
Yeah.
Which, so I want to mention, like, at this time...
He means just torturing them because because when the cops come in there, they're still tied up and, like, screaming.
Yeah. I do want to mention that the director of this movie is Takeshi Miike.
Of course it was.
Who is pretty known in Japan. He probably is one of the most prolific Japanese filmmakers.
Well, if you know anything about, like, especially manga to live action,
he has done a few, I think. So the only one that I've seen, I haven't really seen. He's done almost 100 movies. It's crazy. Yeah. He did Ichi the Killer.
I saw that with you before.
Which I honestly like. I saw it a few years ago, so I don't really remember. But I feel like it. I'm not familiar with the source material either. But it was really like interesting, and it did gore really well, which is like
its purpose.
All you can hope for in a Japanese movie. Nowadays they just will use special effects or everything, but there were some pretty good, like, really unsettling practical effects, which is good.
I mean, there are, like, actual, like, because we were getting to the part with the Ninja Moore brothers in the house, and we're like, are they going to CGI the father? Are they not going to be in there? Or are they actually going to be practical? And I'm like, wow, they actually did practical effects for the father. I was like, wow, that's actually impressive. It didn't look bad either.
I really fucking, like, passed out near the end of this movie. I checked out. I was so done. He also did the movie Audition, which I've heard is really good. I don't want to spoil what I know about it because
I know he did.
I know it's like spoilable.
He did 13 Stabs, which I haven't seen yet, but I know that's on Netflix, which I've been wanting to get around to watch.
Yeah, and I think that might have been his been an American movie, right?
I think so, yeah.
Which is interesting. But so this is a guy who has a long history in film in Japan, and when you watch this movie, it just feels extremely amateur, and it feels like. It just feels like a failure in so many ways. Like, it feels like the screenplay was a failure. A lot of the acting is really flat. The character writing is dry, and, like, I don't really care about any of the characters.
Yeah.
And the direction's pretty boring, too. It just kind of sucks. It is a bummer movie.
Yeah, but especially... can you imagine, like, someone going in that's not a Jojo fan, just, like...
I would believe. If I wasn't a fan of Jojo, I probably would have left by, like, definitely near the end where it starts to get really fucking boring. Like, and I never leave movies.
Yeah. Well, I said they did do one thing, cause in part 4 they they kind of gloss over his grandfather and just kill him like right off, and Josuke doesn't really give a shit. But this one they kind of build a relationship between him and his grandfather. Then it get actually impactful when he dies.
But then he dies and nothing, like, they never mention him again. Like, specifically, Josuke leaves the funeral to enter the final scene of the movie, and he's like, he seems completely unaffected by it.
He sees the fucking what's his name, the Ninja Moore brother, I think.
The older billion or trillion, I forget.
I don't know.
When it comes to these like one-shot JoJo characters, I cannot remember their names. I'm sorry, guys.
I thought it was something with an N.
Shozo.
I remember his appearance more than and his stand, because I actually love his stand, but okay, so speaking of stands, so how did you think they looked with Japanese CG?
Oh wait, this is from Kuroko no Basket. The stands looked terrible.
I thought Crazy Diamond I thought the hand looked good.
The hand was the only one that worked, in my opinion. Well, we only saw how many? Like 5?
We saw
Aqualung.
No, Aqualung.
We see Aqua Necklace. We see
Crazy Diamond. The hand. We see the Echoes Act 1.
Oh, we did see Echoes Act 1. I forgot about that.
We saw Bad Company.
And then
Sheer Heart Attack.
Yeah. We did see Sheer. So yeah, we saw 6. Oh wait, did you say The World? Or not The World?
No, Star Platinum.
Star Platinum. So 7, whatever.
And then we get the tease of... thank God I'm not going to see... what's her name? Love Deluxe.
Love Deluxe. She never had like a stand though. She never had like a punching ghost.
No, she was just her hair. Her hair was the ghost.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I can't imagine how the hair would work, and it's kind of weird her being in the movie. She didn't like really have to. Like Yukako did not have to be in this movie.
Yeah, it kind of brings up the idea of just like fan service. I
feel like because if they did another movie, that would be like the first part of the movie with Kyoichi getting Act 2 or whatever, and Act 3 with her or whatever, or maybe that's Act 2 and then go with the Kyoichi Jotaro thing, and then Kira goes away.
How rad would it have been if Koichi was the main character, and throughout the movie, every time a new act started, he got Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. So, like, the first shot of the movie is an egg. And then when Act 2 begins, the egg cracks. So then the whole movie is just Koichi's character development. That'd be fucking awesome.
I mean, Koichi is, like, the main character of 4. He's, like, the most... Like, he's, like, the character everyone loves in
He's a narrator, 4. Too.
Yeah. And he's the one that appears in Part 5. Oh, yeah.
Spoiler alert.
I mean, sorry.
So...
The first person you see in, like, Part 5.
So, basically... Was there anything else I wanted to say about the director? I can't remember. Oh, yeah. Basically, it just wasn't... It's a movie that didn't need to be made.
Yeah.
I didn't get anything out of this as a Jojo fan. I didn't get anything out of this as a film fan.
So how did you think of, like, them just doing Angelo, then just doing Nijimura Brothers, and then just randomly going right to Kira? Do you think they should have had Red Hot Chili Pepper there? Because I'm like, okay, Red Hot Chili Pepper would have been cool to see.
It would have at least, like, gotten my eyes to open up a little bit near the end, because...
It was a different thing they did differently.
It would have been, like, something. It's just, I was talking to Sam about this before, where, like, I've been reading some manga recently, and part of, like, what I love the most is seeing, like, a very long-form story told in, like, chunks. Mm-hmm. And you just, like, that does not translate at all when you are watching a movie. Like, when you watch a movie, you want to have, like, a very concise, like nowadays, especially, like, I'm not old at all, but the older I get, like, the more that I want a movie to be like, oh, please just be, like, an hour 30. Please be short. Like, just, you can do everything you want to do. Just wrap it up quickly. Because I think this movie is, like, 2 hours long, too. It
felt like a while.
It felt like a fucking 3 hour long movie. But, like, when you are adapting a manga and you're like, all right, instead of trying to, like, focus on what we think would be good, we're just gonna grab the first few chapters of it and then just, like, literally, like, do shot for shot, like, beat for beat. Because there's some of the points in the beginning really do feel like we're just doing, like, beat for beat Angelo. To the point where it's like we even have to have, like, the really awkward in live action Angelo Stone scene.
You also have, like, the weird like Angelo having dinner with the one brother scene. I'm like, you should just have, like you did in the manga, like, where, you know, Josuke, like, goes by the robbery. She makes fun of his hair, and then, you know, stops the robbery. He has a vendetta against him because, you know, stopping his crime, and then you know, they didn't have the house encounter for the most part.
Yeah, everything just feels like it could have been streamlined, and I know that is also a problem in film. So, like, say that you wanted to go up to the Red Hot Chili Pepper fight. Like, say that was your goal when you were making this movie. The amount of things that you would need to just blast through would be crazy, because you've got to introduce, like, Jotaro and Joseph, and then there's all that backstory and baggage.
Yeah.
Then there's, like, just so much character development. You have all this stuff with Yukako and Koichi, which the movie, like, wanted to do. Like, they revisit that plot a few times. But it doesn't do anything for the story.
The thing the movie did, instead of, like, her being, like, a classmate that had, like, a faraway crush on him, they're, like, friends already.
Yeah, she's, like, way more assertive. Way more assertive.
That's
literally
assertive, not insertive.
Yeah, SpongeBob, like, ruined me with that. Oh my god. They're definitely she's playing, like, a more active role in his life. And that's also kind of the plus when you have a serialized show. You can throw a quick shot where it's like a character's pining for another, just so you can have a little bit of more context to character arcs.
Yeah.
Rather than in a movie, it's like when I'm watching a movie, like, every second of film should feel like it's important, or, like, it should feel like it is not just, like, a waste, or, like, setting up something, like, for a sequel. Yeah. The worst thing you can do, in my opinion, is set up something for a sequel. Like, yeah, when your movie is, like, garbage.
Yeah. So did you notice, like, there actually was, like, a Pink Dark Boy, if you remember that Rohan's manga, in Kyoichi's room had a poster of it?
Yeah, I thought, wasn't there, like, just also, like, Steel Ball Run?
Was there?
There was a Steel Ball Run poster too, I think.
I remember seeing the Dark Boy one.
Is that his manga?
Yeah, that's his manga in Part 4. That's the one that's, like, he's real famous for.
Pink Dark Boy?
Yep.
That's funny.
It kind of looks like the manga cover looks like his stand.
Heaven's Door.
Yeah. But what's it called? Apparently the movie gave their father a name. The manga didn't. I think reading, like, a little, like, thing about it.
What father? The Nijimura?
Okuyatsu's father. They actually gave him a name where the manga didn't.
Okay.
I know. But, like they didn't mention during that part. They didn't mention, like, the flesh bud or anything, did they?
No, that's the one thing that I was, because it just is weird. I don't know if... I actually don't remember. We watched this a few weeks ago, so forgive me if I'm spewing lies. But that's the other thing, too. Like, I know it's a really... the Nijimura father is a really unimportant part of Part 4 in the grand scheme of things. But, like, to make that, like, the crux of the movie and not explain what Dio is, or, like, Dio, like... The context
or like,
of Dio is bizarre.
Or have like Jojo like, oh yeah, me and a bunch of friends, or me and some other friends, like, and my grandfather like went to Egypt to defeat this man Dio who's harming our family. That's why you were sick or something when you were a kid or something like that. And then like, so you had the name in there, so you know, because he was serving for the guy they fought. Okay, that's another story for another time. But
at the same time, it's like the problem where it's like you're overloading.
Exactly.
You're overloading a film that is already like suffering from. It's already like being crushed under the weight of its own continuity.
Yeah, I know. It's not good. It's not a good way to do it, especially when you're starting first part, like an 8-part series, and you're starting with Part 4. Where, like, you know, if you want to make a movie with part 1 with all the effects that the vampires do would probably look awful. Especially the fight with Dio and Jonathan inside the mansion.
I don't know.
So
I would love to see that.
Because, like, there's, like, the whole part of, like, the Dio-Jonathan fight where he's, like, falling for, like, 15 minutes in, like, the mansion. It's, like, 2 stories.
Well, you can fix that in a live-action movie.
I know.
You can fix that in a screenplay.
That's gotta be, like, the I-beams, the ice stuff.
That would be so... That's what we love about Jojo, though.
The slow-motion bullets going into... Or, like, Dio or some shit.
That
like,
scene where, like, they confront Dio would probably be awesome.
Seeing Haman effects.
It'd be great. I would love it. It'd be... I don't know. I just... Like, having just Stans just, like, be in this movie and not really explaining, like, what they are, their roles is really... Well, to be fair, Stan's roles change, like, fucking every 5 pages, but... Yeah, just... It wasn't very good, guys.
It was the thing.
I hate to break it to you.
It was not a good couple
film.
Live action anime that I watched. It's not the worst one because Fullmetal Alchemist is like the worst one I think I've seen.
Yeah, that one sucked too. I feel like I want to say the effects were better. I don't know. At
least the hand looked good. Nothing I can remember looked good inside FMA.
Oh, I'm remembering now. Ed looked fucking terrible.
Al or Ed?
Oh, sorry, Al.
They
both did.
They both looked bad.
But,
also, like, it's weird not hearing, like, a kid voice coming out of Al.
That's also probably, like...
Even in both dub and sub, like...
is it?
And, yeah, he's like a higher pitch, like, it's like a kid voice.
Yeah, that was probably, I don't know, a bad decision.
There's a lot of bad decisions in that movie with a story. Especially with what they did with Marco and No Scar, and... There's a lot of things, like, they did wrong in telling the story, which that's the hard thing about doing a shonen is, like, you shouldn't try to retell the main story. The thing about a shonen you can do is tell side stories, like, in the middle, and then you can have it in live action, just tell a side story.
I think that might be the key to what I was getting at earlier. So we have, like, Akira and, Ghost in the Shell, and, Old Boy. I didn't mention earlier, but Old Boy is also another manga that was adapted to a film. They aren't shonens.
Yeah.
They have, like... well, I know Ghost in the Shell kind of goes all over the place.
Jinro's coming out, too, is also like, doing a short manga, though. Like, a shorter manga.
What?
Jinro is getting a live-action movie.
Oh.
A Korean-made movie.
But it's that was based off a manga, too?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, the other thing, also complain about video game movies, where they try to retell a story, where, like, if you have a big enough universe, like, you can tell a story, or, like, you get a side character and, like, tell a story with them in this universe. Like, they always talk about Mass Effect movie. I'm like, universe is big enough where you can tell a story, like, in that universe without, like, having any reference to, like, I think that's what they're doing wrong with Star Wars, where they're, like, trying to, everything in this universe has to be connected to, like, the
Skywalkers.
Yeah. So. And I'm like, people like Knights of the Old Republic, people, like...
Yeah, there is a whole universe of, like, possibilities.
Like this expanded universe is all the stuff that doesn't have to surround these pivotal characters.
But then I see a movie like Solo, and I'm reminded, like, no, wait, this is a terrible idea. Like,
well, Solo he still connects to the Skywalkers, though.
He was, but, like, the things that they try to add in that were, like, just, oh, look at this new stuff you've never seen in Star Wars.
Darth Maul's back, baby.
Just terrible. I forgot about that. That makes me... I'm just thinking about that. That makes me mad. Fuck that movie. I hated Solo. I don't know why anyone liked that movie.
But yeah. Just like... if you're gonna have this huge world, like, don't try to do a shonen and try, like... I was like, I'm not sure if Gintama can work because they can tell a side story, like, but I'm not sure if they do that in the live. I haven't seen it. Rurouni Kenshin, I'm not sure, like, how that could work.
From my understanding of Gintama is, like... it's so fucking long, and there's so many episodes that they'll make a whole episode like 100% serious. Like they'll just play like an idea totally straight, and because there is so much of it, they're able to just experiment.
They probably could make a movie off an arc, and I wouldn't know if it was an arc or not because there's so much. And like Attack on Titan, like halfway did that because I know they added like a shit ton of original characters, and like I'm pretty sure they retold like Eren being turning into like a Titan and everything still. Mm-hmm. So
didn't they do actually like bodysuits though for that?
They did some weird effect with the Titans.
I do appreciate the tonkatsu. What is it? Tokusatsu. The tokusatsu elements of that.
I'll take your word for it.
Do you know tokusatsu is like the man in the suit Godzilla? Like
okay.
All your fucking Power Rangers that you love. That's tokusatsu.
I don't know the term. All I know is Zord battles and.
Okay, so I did want to kind of posit a movie that I think could. If this is kind of early for like a recommendation, if you want to watch the Jojo movie, don't do it. I say don't do it. And you want something that has like a similar vibe to the thing, but it's a movie to the part where it's a movie. But it's a movie. There is a French movie called Amelie that when I'd seen Part 4 Jojo before I saw this movie, and I got such like Jojo vibes from this movie, as in like it perfectly nails like the idea of like the crazy, noisy, bizarre town. Like it's the main character is this girl Amelie who's just like this kind of quirky, like whatever. She doesn't really have a place in life, but the whole movie is filled with like these kind of vignettes of her entering someone's life and then like changing it for the better. Mm-hmm. So it just like it kind of reminds me of the early Part 4 where it's like we just have these stand users that are introduced. Of course, like there's no stands in this movie because it's not like a fucking action movie, but there's a lot of like kind of like quirkiness and supernatural elements. Like there's a part where she gets like super embarrassed and she melts, and like it has like a really fun, playful imagery. But I recommend like when I'm seeing like that, like I feel like adapting Jojo into a movie like because remember how serious this movie was?
Yeah,
the tone is so serious.
It doesn't give you that goofball like Josuke that we get, especially
the Josuke that jumps down the stairs. He jumps down like three stairs because he's a kid, and that's like relatable.
Another thing, like a kid relationship with his mom, where he's just like playing video games and they kind of have like his goofy exchange with her. But you don't really get like insane, like that stupidly goofball until he gets like Okiyatu as like his friend to like his first encounter. Like, remember that's like after the Nijimura brother thing, like in the manga, he knocks on the door, like Okiyatu just comes inside, like what the hell? You're like, oh yeah, we're like they live next door. If you didn't know, like we're like right here, and then like he eats breakfast with like him and like oh your mom's hot by the way, man. Like and then they just became goofy friends, and like especially with like the lottery stuff. Remember like the Shingechi stuff where they're just goofballs.
Yeah, Part 4 in particular, JoJo is known for it, but having these dramatic tone shifts is like part of JoJo for me.
I think like.
Having like the gangster guys like do a funny dance after they just tortured a guy is hilarious.
Next to Joseph, like you get that because he's this kid, but like him and Josuke are probably the goofiest main characters we get in all of JoJo.
For sure.
Where everyone else is super serious, and I don't even know what you consider Jolene to be.
Jolene is kind of all over the place.
Because Giorno's serious, so he has like his father's resolve, or like he has a Joestar resolve with Dio's like resolve as well, like kind of that super serious no matter what kind of thing.
Yeah, Jolene's is like she's definitely more to like a Jotaro character type, but she's a little off.
She's more rash.
Yeah, whereas Jotaro is just super self-serious all the time.
And I guess Johnny's kind of goofy with like when he's like with Gyro, like his exchange with Gyro can kind of get like when they're not in a serious life or death situation, they kind of like ease it. But do you think JoJo could work in live action like any other? Could it possibly work? Or
I want to say that like almost anything can. I do believe that like I don't know, it's really hard because a lot of the appeal of JoJo is the art, and specifically like the manga is like such a great way to experience JoJo. Like Araki's just very good at doing manga.
Even the anime is a great way to experience it too. But they do such like swap the colors around, and like the music is always really good.
Like I want to say that like Part 7 could be stripped down to make like a good series of movies, like maybe a 2-parter.
Yeah, most of it's not even like visible stands; it's all like abilities coming off of them.
Like, so it can be more explained as just like magic. Like I
think it'd be a great like It could have been like an HBO show kind of one of those, like back when we had a whole bunch of those, like the series, like.
And it's got like, I mean, everyone loves Westworld right now. Westerns are totally in.
Yeah.
That Western nostalgia. So I don't want to say like.
Or do you think like
that I don't want to say like nothing would work.
Or do you think you make a JoJo movie, but like make like a unique like original like one, like kind of, you know how Rice Pirate's doing his original kind of thing? Like, do you think do something like that where like they're still stand users but just these separate characters? Like,
yeah, no, I think that is a good idea. Like, I'm trying to remember. I watched a movie recently that it felt like an adaptation of something, but it works well as its own thing. Because like if you're gonna make a movie, it shouldn't, like, this JoJo movie is really trying to like you ride the coattails of JoJo, and it's not really trying to be its own thing.
Yeah. Do you know about the Uncharted movie they're doing, right?
I've heard about this movie for like 10 years.
They finished a script recently, and Tom Holland's gonna be. They're not doing the games. They're doing like a prequel where it's young Nathan Drake. Like I think they teased like early on in the Uncharted games where like, or like one of the Uncharted games where like
they show young Drake.
Yeah, they said like it's gonna be kind of like his first adventure where he meets Sully and like that kind of whole.
It's like
thing.
A young Indiana.
Yeah, they tease it a little. They talk about it a little bit, but you don't see it. But I think that could be that's a movie. It's a little plot point you had in the game, and you can do a movie like that gap that we have no idea like visually what happened. But I'm like, okay, that's like doing it in the universe. It works.
Yeah. But rather than just like, okay, we have this script that's already written.
Imagine if they go right into part 8 with like, didn't you get part 7? Like, you have all this shit that's happening. Like, how confusing it would be. Like,
it's just crazy.
Like, I don't know. Or go right into part 6. Like. You just a Jolene, or like no, part. I think just imagine going right to part 5, like having to explain Dio, the Jonathan thing, like the whole part 3 thing, the stand arrow. Like you have all. Like imagine that even that'd be a huge clusterfuck if they just went straight into that.
You say that, but I actually think that part 6 would work really well as like a TV series.
I think part 6 would work, but Ben, more so part 5 to try and go like right into that one. It'd be like hard.
You would have to... Actually, I would say part 5 would probably be relatively easy.
Well, imagine, and then you have to do the whole Polnareff thing, too.
Well, you wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
The answer is that you wouldn't.
You just have a random person there instead, or just not
You just wouldn't do that.
Who's gonna... But you kind of need the whole...
Requiem?
Yeah, the Silver Chariot Requiem.
I'm sure you could write it differently. The end of part 5 is like kind of a clusterfuck anyway.
It is a clusterfuck.
You could definitely just easily change some of that stuff up.
Yeah, I guess so.
You could even do away with the Requiem stand, to be honest. But
how else is Jonah gonna ass pull?
He's already done plenty of ass pulling that fucking part. He figures.
Is he the most ass pully Joe star out of like the main characters?
Joseph definitely ass pulls a lot.
But that's his whole character, and like at least he doesn't have a stand though. Haman is basically the ass pull of part 1
That's
and 2.
the problem. Haman is such a ass pull. Haman is literally whatever power you need. There's a part where they fuse leaves together to make a parasail so they can fly down somewhere.
Well, also Caesar kisses someone with a Haman kiss and makes her like mind controls her to like fight Joseph with like superhuman strength.
Also, same woman, Joseph puts a pigeon in her mouth somehow with Haman.
And then makes a pigeon flying to hit Caesar. It's fucking... Did not make sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Joseph's definitely an ass pull.
But his whole character was ass pulls though. Like,
so then he is the ass pull king.
He literally, his stand is literally ass pulls.
Whereas like, I don't know.
Even his old
Giorno at least character-wise he feels consistent. Like,
well, character-wise, yeah, but I'm talking about stand.
This is a dumb conversation.
His reflections bullshit.
What was I gonna say?
It's the early stuff. Nothing like I read JoJo, like no character made me go like fucking really, like when the Man in the Mirror arc happened and he literally makes it like, oh, I just made an anti-venom. I'm like, fuck you, man.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I like no one literally is like, fuck you. Like I think it pissed me off more than I thought it would.
It doesn't make sense.
I'm like, I know, like. I'm like, it's cool. Okay, everyone has to be really careful in the stand fight because the guy, your big muscle can kill literally everyone in this area if he like does it wrong. I'm like, but like, oh my god, like if it just removes the tension, we're like, oh yeah, I just beat anti-venom. I'm like, okay, fuck you, man.
All right, well, back to Diamond is Unbreakable, the movie.
That's it. We're done.
It sucked. It wasn't good.
It's meh.
It was bad, and I didn't like it.
Just look up pictures of the costumes, then you'll be satisfied.
I wouldn't even say to watch the stand fight. People put the stand fight compilations on YouTube. Don't. they're boring. Most of the fights, I think, probably last as maybe like 2 minutes the whole movie.
Just watch the anime version, because like they do some certain shot for shot of like the big moments, like like what's called Josuke punching his mom and capturing Aqua necklace, the whole like you put and then D'Angelo into a rock thing. They what else was there? There's the Okatsu getting hit by the flower pot. Like that fight's very short as it is, but they really draw out the Bad Company one.
It just I just don't know why. I'm baffled by this movie. Why didn't they just cut so much of that final like conversation? Could have been just cut.
I don't know.
Also, sheer heart attack. Like,
gotta have Kira with him all the entire time.
Why?
And he doesn't want his quiet life. He's gonna make his appearance very well known.
I didn't even think about that. That's so fucking stupid. Kira's whole thing is that he doesn't want people to know. Like, what is tying him to the stand hour right now? Like, there's as far as like this would be a super dead end. Like, the only thing that they had to connect to the next arc was what's his name?
Red Hot Chili Pepper.
Red Hot Chili Pepper. I almost said AC/DC.
He tells him more. Yeah, because he tells them more, then it kind of goes in, like, they're kind of, they don't know anything. Go to Shigechi, the whole sandwich gate happens.
Sandwich gate.
With, like, he's like a goofy thing trying to get his hand back from the little goblin man himself.
Yeah, like, that part's so fucking good.
Then
that might be, like, the best part of part 4.
Yeah. Because, like, right on the Jojo podcast I listen to, it's, like, on that right now. And, like, and you're talking about like how just a little goblin, he's hobbled around, like they just hate him.
I love Shigechi.
I know.
He's such a precious boy.
But yeah, so like, but now I'm like
he's such a cunt too.
I know. He's a little asshole. But it just completely negates like the whole Kira like wants to stay quiet. Like he lives a very boring like repetitive life, except for this the whole killing people thing. But
didn't we see? I don't remember if it was after credits, but we saw like his house. We see like the third place trophies, and we see like the
that's right, yeah,
the clippings, the fingernail clippings,
like the anime did when it opened. That was just the hand like on like
but like it just felt like really tacked on.
Yeah,
and
I think they also I remember the it's called Josuke going to his grandfather's like study and like finds like the report about like the Remy. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, that's happening too.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Cause like his grandfather, like an investigation his grandfather had, like it was going, I never saw. I'm like, oh, it's like at the end of it, you go through like, if you had to resolve, like I will try my best to say for my grandfather's honor or something like that. Like, okay, that's more motivation.
And like even like that could have been cut, but I think that if they had expanded upon that, that would have been like a better use of time, because the early part of the movie is so like focus on characterizing the grandfather, even though it fails. It's so focused on that, and like having the Remy thing, that would be like a good like a plot line to grab onto that isn't just like us following characters around. That's what the movie just feels like. It feels like we're following characters around.
If part 2 ever happened,
which it won't.
No, so do you think Rohan, yes or
no? Yeah, they'd have to. He's like a fucking, what's it called? He's like iconic.
Okay, so I guess I'm pretty sure it would end with Kira getting his face changed. That's all that. What's it called? Killer Queen. How bad would it be? The worst looking stand in live action?
Probably.
I think so.
Because like I think the hand works the best because it's so non-human.
Yeah, the hand. I thought the hand looked great. Like, and plus, like, it's like the weird, like they had that weird kind of like that puddle effect where like you kind of like you can just like ripple. Like I don't know. It looked like a reflection more so than it looked like a human standing behind him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Rohan. I'm trying to think. What else would appear? I guess like what stand would they do Love Deluxe, or just make Rohan the first part, then Kira the second part?
Well, they would.
Do you think Shigeki would appear?
I don't know. Maybe I could see them like just reusing like they could just kind of kill like Okuyatsu instead of Shigeki.
I think
Okuyatsu's pretty.
I think Okuyatsu would stay for the final part. If anything, I don't know. I think, man, if Kira killed his grandfather, then it's not D'Angelo. Yeah,
if you really are so focused on Kira, like
have the guy investigating him get a lead and find out, but then you have the whole moment where Kira tells him about his entire life, and like now that you know who I am, I have to make you disappear, and then Quality Queen comes out. Not gonna be Killer Queen. It'll be like the early game production of Killer Queen.
Yeah, I just don't know why they focus so much on Angelo. Like, it just baffles me.
He was the first, like, you know, villain, yeah, but he kind of got, like, beat upon. He's kind of a goof, too, like, for a serial killer.
But, like, imagine if they did a part 1 movie and they, like, more than half the movie was, like, Jonathan and Dio growing up. Like, I mean, that's my favorite part, but, like, it's, like, you have things, you can't just, like...
I think
like artificially stretch something.
I think you could
bad
in a movie. You could tell like the Dio Johnson relationship quicker, especially with like a quick like moment like happening throughout the years kind of thing. And then, but that part 1 could probably be split into 2 movies. So, like having it end in like the mansion fight and then go into the Haman. So I think that movie could work in 2 parts. Great.
I would even say make it 1.
Make it 1. I think it could work 1. I think it could work 1 or 2 depending on how they feel.
You could honestly streamline the entire... You could mix the mansion with the final fucking fight. Yeah. Instead of him taking the town over, he just takes over... Like, you could... I don't know. You could
you can take over the entire town, have them fight in the mansion, like, have them, like, these, like, you know, have...
the human monstrosities.
Yeah.
I love part 1. Part 1's so good.
The Pelly Show. Even Speedwagon's afraid.
Because, like, you know how he goes to... Jonathan goes to, like... What's it? Ogre Street?
Yeah, he meets...
That can be, like, where he meets the Pelly and Speedwagon, and then the way back can be, like, the whole, like, last part where the whole town... Whatever.
Yeah,
we can just talk about rewriting parts for years.
What the 2, like, was it Bruford?
Bruford and Juford.
What did Juford do?
Bruford and Sigmire, something like that?
Whatever, those 2 guys.
I always call them Bruford and Juford. Cause
like, have that fight, we gotta have the Zappelli moment, and... I don't know, I think, yes, that could work great. And then just end it on the boat.
Bruford and Tarkus.
But yeah, and I think the part 1 could definitely work in live action. I think the best, but what do I know? The idea of the JoJo expanded universe. But I guess anything else you want to say about this movie though?
No, I think we should really wrap it up. It wasn't good. If you want to watch a movie, go watch Amelie. You will get the same. If you like love that vibe in part 4 where it's like this really quirky town with all these characters, like before Kira comes and like makes everything like sad and depressing. Check out Amelie. It was really good. I loved it. I keep forgetting how much I love that movie.
Or you're on what's it called? Right now on Twitch, they're streaming all of JoJo.
There you go.
And part 4 is going to be included in that. And they're starting the part 4 dub on Toonami this week, I think.
Neat.
So
I watched the little teaser for it.
Yeah.
I love I know that Toonami is like not even like relevant anymore, but I like that they still do those little like bumper teaser things. They just remind me of like being a little kid watching Dragon Ball Z. Goku screaming like
promos are good.
I have like some of those promos are like, deeply ingrained in like my psyche.
Steve Bloom's voice is always synonymous in your head.
Yeah.
So I guess don't recommend it.
It's excessively not recommend.
Read it, watch it. You don't really have to
read it, watch it, or go watch Amelie. Do you have a movie that you'd recommend over this?
Kubo.
That's good too. I don't really see the thematic connection.
I don't care. Kubo's amazing. Watch it.
Yeah, go watch Kubo, you dum dums. If you haven't seen it, what's wrong with you?
Or do you want me to say a Japanese movie?
If you want, I mean, if you
go watch Battle Royale, it's the best. It's great.
Even like Battle Royale, which I'm pretty sure is, I think it's a novel adaptation.
It is. I've read a little bit of the book. Not manga. It's actual like novel.
Yeah.
Not light novel. I guess you.
Fucking light novels. I hate light. That's like the worst trend ever. It's like if you're gonna make a fucking manga, make a manga.
Not as easy to write and have someone else do like 1 page of art. Yeah. For, like, the cover.
Hire yourself an Arrow manga sensei to.
But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I don't want to keep stretching this out. I feel like the last 10 minutes have just been kind of like whatever anyway.
All right. Yeah. I guess any. Yeah. I guess next week we'll have our. Should be the 19th, or we'll have our JoJo chapter. Hopefully out ASAP. Come out Sunday, so we'll probably have that out like Sunday or Monday.
I hope so. Yeah, we will make an effort to get it out as soon as possible, as per usual.
Depending on work schedule.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be done.
Oh yeah, yucky you. I
left my job and I'm so fucking happy.
Good for you. Now you're a full-time podcaster.
Yeah, I guess we'll put it that way at least until September.
Yeah, I'm back to I had a crazy like 6-day in a row work day week last week. And now I'm just getting to like that day off. Like I'm just going to a concert. So like, but I'm like now.
Oh, you're off today. Yeah, that's right.
So, but now I'm like behind on podcasts. I had like, a lot of time to really grind through them. Like, do you actually listen to any JoJo podcasts? I'm kind of curious. Do you listen?
No, I only listen to ours when I'm editing it.
I think actually one like JoJo's World. That's like they watch like the anime one episode by episode. One guy like kind of like us who up to date, the other guy's like not at all. So like it's pretty fun listening. If you want to listen to fun Aussies,
if you want to listen to a better podcast, probably.
No, I like
more
them.
Popular.
Yeah, they are, but they're still fun JoJo podcast to listen to. Like if you need some like podcast to listen to on your time, their episodes like probably like the same amount of time we do for our JoJo stuff, which is like 30 to 40 minutes.
Yeah, I'm actually I wanted to get this up a little longer.
Yeah.
Well, this was like 10 minutes ago, but I'm happy with this length.
Yeah, it's probably you don't listen to anything like kind of like JoJo related. Stuff.
I don't know.
You kind of stick more to YouTube videos.
Yeah, there's a lot of like YouTubers that do JoJo stuff that I'll check out occasionally. There's a lot that I like can't stand though.
Oh yeah, JoJo's such a fucking giant ocean of content that like you're gonna find like stuff you like and stuff you don't like.
There's
us is like lost in the bottom of like the deep trenches.
Yeah, like I don't see much value from listening to like a podcast where they talk about the show because I've already watched it. I don't know, personally that's not something unless like I really enjoy the characters of the podcast.
Yeah. Or the subject, whatever the subject is, and like if I'm like still interested by it.
Mm-hmm. And I check out our competition sometimes. Like I'll check out
other Part 8 one.
I know there's a Part 8. There's another Part 8 chapter review podcast that started shortly after we did. And then there's
Are they bigger than us?
No, we're bigger than them.
Awesome, yes.
Shout out to you guys whose name I forget.
You know who you are. Awesome. We're not at the very bottom. We're slightly getting up the tree.
And then there's X-Forts, who actually was gracious enough to comment on one of our videos sometimes. Said he loves our commentary or whatever. Cool. He does it too, or it's just more of his is a little more like recappy.
Yeah.
Where he'll go and like show you panels of it while he's doing a vlog, which honestly respect because that's a lot more effort than I'm willing to put for this.
Yeah, a lot of people are putting a lot more effort than we put into it. So
yeah, I really me I like just going into it with like a fresh take, not having read any speculation about the chapter yet.
Yeah,
and just kind of giving my ideas out there.
Yeah,
that's my idea, and like not having to like worry about going doesn't necessarily page by page.
Yeah, but I like I don't know. I like to see how you feel about like other people like. Or you actually listen to other people's like opinion about stuff. But
not really. No, it's funny that you say that because like I normally like listen. I do listen to a lot of podcasts and stuff, but nothing really JoJo specific.
I kind of in my pocket I had like one of like kind of every subject I listen to.
Mm-hmm.
So like I had like the one improv one with Connie Bang Bang, and then I have like comic stuff. I have one for wrestling, and then like and then JoJo.
Yeah, I don't know.
True crime. I have a true crime one too, but
there's a few that I listen to, but I like just neglect them for a long time. So I always have like months and months of like things to catch up on.
That's what it works for. I can just listen to it like on break, but I freaking left my headphones at work, so I gotta get new ones.
Oh no!
So
that's one of the things I'm really looking forward to, or I'm not looking forward to, is because like I used to listen to so many podcasts at work, but
that's what I miss about.
I won't be able to do in my new job.
Like my old position at my job was like I was able to like read manga like all the time. So I went through JoJo. I read through One Piece for the most part, and then I got taken over. The job like went away. I'm like, fuck, man. That's how I read. That's how I read One Piece.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I've been trying to read a lot more manga lately. But
like I want to get to the new arc, but I hear it's great. But just the arc I'm on just drags. I really just don't want to like keep reading that arc. Like my two characters that I really like are like in this part. And I'm like, ugh. But whatever.
All right, I think it's time to end it. We've just kind of been like metagaming.
Yeah.
For the last 5 minutes.
I don't know. Like I don't think we ever talked about like stuff we listen to podcasts.
Yeah, I think it is nice to recommend. Actually, I want to find out that other JoJo podcast.
It wasn't the one that had like a similar name to us, was it?
It is very similar to our name.
I thought it was just called the Jokakaka.
It's called Jokakaka Podcast. Yeah.
We went for the pun.
We went for a pun.
We went for the pun.
Yeah,
you always go for the pun. That's rule number 1.
So they're called the Jokakaka Podcast, but they actually I will say they do a lot of like really cool. They do a lot of like kind of edit videos where they'll like edit or like do little mini animation things. I'll show you some after this, which is pretty cool. And as I said before, also a lot more work than I would put in. They do have more subscribers than us, but our videos get a lot more views.
It's weird. They have more friends to tell. They tell about the podcast too. Maybe.
I think it's just I found, or I think I got lucky with, like some of the fucking tags that I put on there.
Yeah, that and like some of the upload times we got like the day of really helped for a lot of it.
Yeah, no, I think getting a good spike in the beginning helps show, because you can actually check. This is like super behind the scenes, whatever. I don't care. You can check to see how many people watch, where the people
is our viewers,
where the people get their shit from, like, and like it'll say like, oh, they got it from the front page, they got it from their sub box. Most of it's from recommended stuff. Like most of our views.
And the shame that our most viewed video is the one where our audio got messed up and it sucks. I know. But hey, we had a warning, but people didn't care. Probably didn't care much about that.
No, they fucking just downloaded it because they're fucking mind dead, brainless, slack-jawed Jojo fans.
Knowing you'd be like, this video's not in HD. Dislike. But it's just a still picture. Dislike. But whatever.
All right. It's time to wrap it up. This has been a little bit of inside baseball with our fucking Jojo channel.
Please, if you want to subscribe to our channel, that'd be cool. And like it or whatever.
Comment, subscribe it.
Yeah, and you can follow any update the videos on social media is at Neoncast, so you can follow that as well. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, check us out.
Thank you very much if you actually listened through all this.
Yeah, if you did, I'm shocked.
Bravo.
I'm fucking shocked.
Bravo.
You really must. I'm either imagining that you're probably like, washing dishes, so your hands are wet and you couldn't touch your
turn it off.
Or because I've definitely been in that position where I'll leave a shitty podcast on because my hands are wet and I can't change the channel. But
or if you actually enjoyed our content, I appreciate it.
Yeah, fucking crazy people out there.
Crazy bastards. All right, thank you for listening.
I've been Jim.
I'm Sam. Bye-bye.
Bye.